I'm so rude. I totally cut you off, Neil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, welcome to the Rude podcast.
Do that on purpose.
It is on purpose. It was. I'm sorry. This is unusual since we don't air live on Sundays. So, gotta start drinking sometime.
You mean start drinking? I'm still drinking from last night. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
you know what? That's true because you classically just run your after shows for hours, and Saturdays are no different since, you don't have the excuse of getting up early for work.
No, that's right.
Well, hi, everyone. Welcome. Special edition of IFWAS live on Sunday with Neil, the 604 Atheist. Thank you for joining us, Neil. And, of course, your producer, Mikey Famine.
Yo.
Lovely to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Mm-hmm. Justin, how you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Good. Malty the Savage?
Malty the Savage.
Yeah. Bringing in the anchor. You betcha.
So
what are you going to say, Justin?
Ali Man is starting to have a tradition going. I think we started a couple weeks ago. What's everybody drinking?
A poison of choice.
Yeah.
Water.
No.
Gorilla's like, I haven't poured anything yet.
That's terrible. Yeah.
Malty is so savage that he stays sober.
I'm super lightweight, drinking Trulies.
I got this one here, Alexander Keith's India Pale Ales. So.
Now, that's one you always drink, but I've never even heard of that.
It's the pride of Nova Scotia.
You guys can clearly see what I'm drinking, so no need to say any more.
Clearly.
A futuristic iPhone? What is that?
No one ever knows what's in the cup. No one ever knows.
Damn you and your green screen tricks.
Were you able? How did you find the right color cup to go with the screen? Can you get green screen colored cup? I mean, is that?
I could tell you, but
yeah,
he probably taped it to the cup.
I could tell you, but it's a high cost.
Yeah,
all right. Well,
he cut part of his green screen and just double-sided taped it to the cup.
The bottom part.
I mean, people will never know, I guess, because it works inside and outside. Like, how did he do that?
That's tricky.
Man.
Oh, gosh. Oh, there's Quiet Gorilla. Hey, QG.
If we stumble upon an alcohol sponsor,
no one will ever
complain.
Shit.
It's a picnic cup.
I guess we're dead now. Oh, so this is newly started since we're, as of last night, Neelians.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim Mikes.
Well,
forgot about that.
Give the Raelians a run for their money. Is that what you're looking for?
Or yeah,
they do?
like that, yeah.
So it was your guest had a story in regards to it was Kevin. What is it? Lentini. There you go. Yes, he had a story about aliens, and for the longest time, hours even, Mikey was trying to talk about aliens.
I did,
and then somehow somehow creatively labeled all of us as Neelians, and I think it was QG with his signs. I think QG started it, but I'm not absolutely certain.
I'm pretty sure you're certain. Yeah.
Either way, it was funny.
That's tons of mics. They probably know.
Hey, Stidix.
Hey, Stidix.
So we have this Austin fella in the chat here.
Yeah, it's like you picked the wrong channel.
Yeah. Austin, you've got a big job ahead of you, demonstrating that any of what you just said is even real.
Yeah, now that Matthew Randall has arrived, you're screwed.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't have mods on this one, so have at it.
It was a firefight.
Jeez. Speaking of religion, Neil, and this is funny because Justin had just asked me this before we started. Do you have a deconversion story of Neil's deconversion story?
Yeah, actually. I think it was during either the end of my first season or the beginning of the second season of my channel. I had Randolph Richardson. We did a little. I had a show date for the 1st of April, so we did a little kind of an April Fool's thing where we switched roles, and he interviewed me and did my deconversion story.
That makes sense. I could have done my research and looked through all of your videos, but you have so many freaking videos. You've done a lot.
Yes.
For years. And then you're already planning on wanting to revisit most people, and that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people have come to me and said that they've forgotten things or weren't sure about whether or not they should speak about some things, but they're over that now, and they might want to come back on and share a few more little tidbits of their stories. So at some point in the future, I'm not sure when that'll happen, I'll do Deconversions Revisited or something along those lines and have some folks back on that do want to come back on and share a little more with everyone.
I like that.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know not everyone has a deconversion story, just like Multi mentioned, and I know Justin doesn't necessarily have one either. And well, actually, your second to last guest didn't have, well, I mean, he does, but he didn't want to talk about it. And you creatively labeled it the not deconversion story.
Yeah, big creative. No, I just added the word not deconversion story. Well, it was Matt Dillahunty, right? And everyone's heard his story like 1,000 times. So, yeah. And we were talking, before all this, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I've told this story like so many times. It's tiring for me now." And I'm like, "That's fine, dude. We don't have to talk about that at all. What we can do is talk a little bit about how you got involved with the ACA, what we can do as an atheist community to better ourselves, charitable stuff, that kind of thing, right?" So that's what we ended up talking about, and a little bit about music and a little bit about the Faithless Forum when I was down there hanging out at his house and stuff like that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's good too, because I enjoy and love, and I've run through a lot of what your content had, and a lot of recognizable names like Eric Murphy, Seth Andrews, this guy named Mikey Famine. I mean, that was okay, but it's not always about what. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Okay. It's not always about the story. It's just always
on the wall.
I mean, the story is important, and thank you for, of course, I shared my deconversion story with you. My gosh, was that a month ago?
Yeah, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah, it's already been that long.
Fast. Yeah. But, as important as sharing and letting other people view and know about these stories, because we all have different backgrounds of where we came from and how we got here, I think it's also even more important to, build a community, build conversation, build understanding, just coming together cohesively and having that positive, skeptical community, so we can demonstrate ourselves as, we're not baby eaters or Satan worshipers or evil people, but we're actually people that. Oh.
But that's pork, folks. It's okay.
But yeah, it just has what pigs. You had. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What did you say, Mikey?
Not if you ask the pigs.
Oh.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
But that's the thing. But sharing and interacting with each other, even I think the more, I guess, this is hard to say, positive highlights of 2020, even though you and other people have done this for so long, is that it allowed even more and more people to find yourself, to find other content creators, to see what is out there, since we're all just mostly at home for the most part, and to just continue to have this grow. And I think for Justin and I, that's been our model and our importance to us, just, interacting and reaching out to various different people, having conversation, and just wanting to best demonstrate that this is what it means to have community without belief.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
good. That's why I decided to do the after parties as well. So people could get in and meet the people that I'm talking to, learn more about them too. And then, get possibly go over to their channel, see what they're about, or their Twitter page or Facebook page or whatever, and see what they're about. And they get known and welcomed into the greater community, right?
Yeah, that's something that, I've, like, when I think I mentioned to you before, when we talked about starting up a channel, using StreamYard, using kind of like the more laid back format. A lot of it was kind of inspired by watching your channels. The after shows, I think, is the most important part of it to me, because there's a lot of content creators that don't interact with their community or with the community very well. A lot of for various different reasons. They get on a camera, they make their content, they promote it, and then you never hear from them. They're not in the Facebook groups, they're not in Discords. They might be on Twitter, but Twitter again tends to be a one-way conversation very often. Mm-hmm. But just being able to get in there and have these conversations, to get to know who the people actually are outside of their prepared 30 or 60 minute or whatever video is super important for building a community. Because the knowledge is only part of it, but just being a consumer of content isn't, it doesn't make you feel like you're part of the community. You might know that there's other people out there, but it doesn't make you feel like you're part of that group. But so the after shows are super important. And on top of that, your channel is almost like a one-stop shop for getting to know every content creator out there.
Yeah, man.
On like a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good that people feel that way, because that's kind of what I was aiming for an area or a place where people could come feel safe to talk about this kind of thing, and meet everyone else that's sort of been through something similar, and we all get together and we can have a good time. And you know what? Most of the time, do we really talk about atheism? Not really. We just have fun. And I think that believers that happen to stumble on this from time to time, I'm hoping that they might think, oh, look, they're just normal people. They're having a good time, having fun, a couple of drinks, talking about whatever. And they're not really being dicks. So maybe they're not so bad people. That's part of what I do, is to try and stop the vilification of atheism, right? Because we're not horrible people. We're just like everyone else. We just don't have the same God belief as other people do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's super, that's another thing that's super important, is to know that, you might have atheist in your name, or that might be how you identify, one of your characteristics. But outside of show, like very particular narrow topic shows, or some like debate situation, like we never talk about it. It's not like we go to seminars and crack open atheism books and stuff like that.
The holy book of atheism.
Right. Like, I mean, most of us has probably read Dawkins or Hitchens' books or Sam Harris's books and stuff, but we're not like, having, the moral landscape Bible study or anything like that. It's there might be some in-depth conversations, but the average person has no interest in the intellectual pursuit of furthering the dynamic, the understanding, but just trying to hang out and have a place where they're not vilified and made harassed for being who they are.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's like a place to feel where I can let my guard down, it's okay if I'm not always censoring what I'm going to say. And in a way, it kind of frees me up, so I don't feel like I have to say anything because it's understood. But on the other side, it's like, if I wanted to say, oh, I heard something from Senator, Reverend, whomever, I might get a sympathetic ear.
And it's so interesting, because I know when I first came across the ACD server. Oh shit! How long has it been now? Is it almost 2 years? No. Okay, I've lost track of time. It feels like a long time for me.
It's been a while. Like, it might be closer to a year and a half, like September of 19 or something like that.
No, you're probably right. Yeah. Okay. No, it's, from moving from just being a member to being, a moderator, to doing this show with Justin, to now doing nonprofits and everything else in between has been wild. But it when I first came on, it was welcoming and it was nice. But I found a lot of I don't know, things I didn't know personally or understand, like, philosophy and knowing every little argument under the sun against a religion, or knowing, how to debate, or, just a lot of, word salad that just made me even more confused, because I was kind of just freshly coming out of, being more relaxed about, not being a believer anymore. So when you're met with that face value, and, the ACD server is a huge, atheist community server, and you have all these different conversations, and it's kind of like you feel a bit of intimidation initially, because then you think, at least for me, then you think like, oh, am I supposed to know what that means? Am I supposed to have like learned philosophy before I knew all this? You get the misunderstanding of what the importance really is. And the importance, like we have been talking about, is just the community, finding that safe space to just talk to people. So once I finally got my feet wet, and you kind of just become more relaxed and find where your place is amongst all that. And then I guess for myself, taking it a step forward, you just find what you feel that you want to see for yourself. Like I know Stidix always says, or whoever always says, be the change that you want to see. And I think I want to say for you, Neil, that's exactly what you have demonstrated with your channel and having these stories, whether they're big names or just people that just send you an email or in the chat say, hey, I want to talk about my story. That's it.
And I usually get everyone that I can remember on the show. Sometimes, some people, I get hit up quite a bit nowadays. Like my schedule's always full, like a month and a bit in advance.
That's great.
So, and it's with you, like you said, people who are known, people who are unknown, and sometimes I don't exactly schedule properly because it gets a little overwhelming sometimes, to be honest. But I try my best to get everyone in there, and eventually the people that I didn't get back to will eventually get back to me, and then we can square things up. Of course.
And how many shows are you doing a week?
I do 3 a week of deconversion stories.
Oof.
And of course, on the Wednesdays, I do the nonprofits with Jena here. So, and Multi too. Multi
Top liver, yeah, right here.
I would say you just did a show with him. It just aired.
Wow. Sorry, my brain was somewhere else at the time. So
I'm glad I didn't say that. That
no,
really embarrassing.
Jenna is much more memorable than I am. I can definitely say
she
that.
also spends like 10 hours a week in his after shows, so that helps.
Yeah. I'm gonna start having back spat. I had one last night actually. I was like, I hope no one caught that. It was during the after show too. Like somewhere after like 30 minutes of just joining, I'm like, my back hurts, and then all of a sudden I just feel like this jolt shoot down my spine. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, Neil. When you start making it big, you're gonna have to send all of your guests back braces and heating pads,
a chair.
Yeah, a table.
Can I put my logo on?
Yeah.
You want a back brace with my logo?
This rendition of the Neil, the 604 Atheist After Party, brought to you by our friends at Icy Hot. Those aches and pain needs.
Yeah.
Like for real.
You need to cut that out and use that.
I know, eventually I will get myself off the floor. This happens to me in my space right now.
Neilian brand back brace.
Good. Thank you, QG. Yes. Yeah, you need to. Can I place my order now, please? It's starting to hurt.
Google Eats will deliver it by sundown.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Thank you, Google Eats.
Wait, you can eat back braces?
They do it all.
Okay. All right.
That's fair. I wanted to say, because, no matter who's on, they always feel so comfortable. Just, I don't know if we all just naturally, whether you have a deconversion story or not, we all just naturally want to just talk about ourselves, share, feel validated, have other people get an understanding of what we've been through and how we think and this, that, and the other. But for you in particular, people feel just, totally relaxed, totally just comfortable with telling you anything they want to share, anything about themselves to a degree. So do you at all ever feel that difference for yourself, or do you recognize or know how that makes you different?
I honestly, I don't really think about it. I just try my best to provide a place for people to come and sit and share their story. And they know ahead of time that, because they probably have checked out some of my shows just to see what it's about. And they say, oh, okay, this looks like it could be all right. Like, it's fun. It's, there's a good audience in there that are being supportive, which I appreciate too. And I never tell them that, but you guys, I appreciate it very much because you help in the folks that I interview that may be new to the community feel that they are welcome and valid, like you just said, Jena. So, and that's one of the reasons why I do it. So, I mean, that's why I do it, so that these folks can find us and feel welcome and safe.
Good.
And so share their stories so others can do that.
I could, if I can piggyback on that. I think with such a vault of previous interviews to fall back on, I don't think they have any evidence to feel nervous or like, like everyone who has gone on has been chill and relaxed. So then anybody in the future is going to know that this is just a chill and relaxed place to come in and do their story. So it's become part of the Neil brand, is that no worries, man. Cracks a beer and then let's go ahead and knock this story out of the way. So
I think it's really important to have a place like that, because a lot of shows now are turning more social political, and you have the Bin podcast that's kind of like that. We generally kind of steer into those conversations very often. And when we first started the show, it was a lot less fun because it was a lot less laid back. And we tried to stay on topic. We tried to stay factual. We tried to reference studies and articles and kind of hold each other to, well, you said this thing and I'm going to need you to back it up, or you're wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah.
And, don't say anything about it unless you know what you're talking about. And that's really off-putting. And it's fine in certain contexts. I mean, there's debates and when you're trying to get out factual information and stuff, but there's not a lot where you're just trying to get to know somebody and just hang out. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of people are just looking for a background noise or just hanging out or, people to hang out with on, any given day of the week, especially people that are trapped at home or working from home or just whatever it is, or listening the next day at work. And it's super important to have that environment. And when we started this show, we basically went from doing most nights we would all talk, me, Jena, Malty, Giggler, a bunch of other people on the Discord server, and we would have voice chats. And the show was designed to be just a kind of like the evolution of that, of just hanging out, background noise, talk about whatever, and then add a video component to it. Neil, you have some fans.
I see that. Not if you were the last person alive, Nictonius.
Nictonius found us again. Jesus. Nictonius is everywhere.
Disclaimer, we don't often get double-digit viewers, so just to have some rowdy folks. So this is why I don't have moderators. So this is pretty unusual.
Let them spew their nonsense.
It doesn't bother me. I mean, if they spam it, I'll time them out or whatever. But it's not a big deal to me. Yeah. I don't care. The other people in the chat are probably entertained by it.
Yeah.
It is one thing that I found. Neil has there's a cadence to his voice and a very calming presence. It may be that BC Gold, or it may be just you, but yeah, you definitely put people at ease.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good to know. I was kind of worried if I would be able to do that with folks when I first started doing it, but after a little while, I got the idea that it was going down pretty good. So.
Yeah, I mean, you look like you just stumbled out of a biker bar, and that can be off-putting for some people.
True.
I prefer that environment, but that's just me.
But then he says, "Yeah, but it's my show's about having fun, and you get that about in there, and yeah, okay."
Now, Neil won't tell you this.
Not a boot.
Oh, okay.
Neil won't tell you this, but he's actually a trained hypnotist. So there is a reason he speaks that way. That's why everyone's so calm. They're hypnotized.
That makes sense.
Big science.
Yeah. And
Oh no, you didn't give Randall or Matthew Randall.
Oh yeah, it's a wrap now. Everybody's banned.
I was
Why did you do that?
like a duck reference, but it's just not coming.
Oh God.
Never give a crazy trucker a wrench in a YouTube channel.
We're gonna regret this. You know what? For stability, I will give one to Stidix since he is
I'm looking for all the mistakes. I accidentally banned this guy. I don't know what to do about it.
Oh gosh.
Matthew, execute order 66.
He says I'm right too.
Oh no.
Everyone's a moderator on my channel, so
yeah. So I have like a thing about that where, you know, I most channels on relatively smaller channels, every person in the comment section is a moderator, and that's fine for, like, you know, these are your friends, the people, your regulars, the people that you're familiar with, the people that show up every day, and that's fine. But when I, as somebody that's not familiar or like a new viewer, I show up to a chat and every person is as a wrench, and they're all talking about something that has nothing to do with the show at all because they've seen it 1,000 times.
Welcome to my show.
Right. That's like, it's just off, to me personally, it's off-putting as somebody that feels like an outsider. And it's like, I know if, you know, you start interacting with them, it's all fine and stuff, but it's like, it's just kind of like a weird dynamic when you feel like every single person you interact with is like part of the crew or part, you know, on the inside.
Justin, did you want a wrench?
No.
I think he's lobbying pretty hard for a wrench.
No. I intentionally tell people I don't want a wrench, even if it's my own show or a show that I'm on.
Because I'm like Oprah with the wrenches. You get a wrench,
I know.
You get a wrench,
Look,
you get a wrench.
Everybody is. I saw it earlier on nonprofits where they gave Multi a wrench for like just showing up.
I guess I'm wrenched, and then they wrenched me for AXP too.
No.
They did that for me too.
To be fair, you kind of want people who are regulars to be your wrench holders, because if for whatever reason your stream gets rated and you get 60, 70 people in the chat that usually aren't there and they want to cause a problem, it's nice to have a goon squad of moderators just sitting right there to time out and get involved, just to get them out of there.
I think it's different coming from me, somebody who's moderated or admin and moderated large Facebook groups and then large Discord servers and other communities for such a long time, where there's like a process and a requirement to be to have that authority to like ban somebody. But on YouTube, it's all weird. You just hide and time out everybody and move on, and nobody cares. There's just so many. Like if you ban one troll, there's 5 right behind them. So it's not like
probably the same person.
Yeah. We had that all day today on AXP.
I was in there for a little bit too, and Matt actually said hello to me in the chat. I didn't think they paid attention to the chat, but
he does.
He does.
The first one to say, "Hey, Neil."
Yeah.
Which I thought, oh shit, hey Matt.
Yeah, they normally don't, but he does, and he's pretty good about it recently.
Matt's a great guy.
Yeah, and I think he has been doing the show for 15 years about now. Is that about right? Yeah, he said he was, or maybe at least 10.
More
than that, yeah.
Well, yeah,
2006. I think it's around 2006.
Yeah, this is season 25, and he said he has been there for, at least 10. So I can see how he might be able to, to keep up with a little bit of text chat.
Stedix Aesthetics avoided being a moderator on one channel for one day.
I know.
He's a moderator everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
You have a reputation being too fair, too balanced.
I don't know. Did I give Aesthetics a wrench on my channel?
I think it just comes with his account.
Yeah, automatically.
This guy's a moderator. Just
Yeah.
auto wrench him for every channel.
Auto
he goes
wrench.
on.
Yes.
It shall be done.
So, how'd you get involved with this guy?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He just showed up one day, and I was like, "Hey, you want to be a producer?" Actually, it was his idea, so he said, "I can help you out," and I'm like,
So-
that would be cool."
So what was the
Right around-
situation? Because me and Jena and Malty were playing around with Streamlabs and just kind of playing around with piping it into StreamYard and all this other stuff the other day. And it's not super complicated, but you do have to have a little understanding of how things work. So
It's fucking complicated.
what
Which
was
I don't.
what was your situation like before Mikey came on board?
Oh yeah.
A lot more plain Jane than it is right now. Mikey came in and kind of showed me a couple of things that you can do in StreamYard, and we set a bunch of stuff up, and he did a bunch of ticker tape stuff and a bunch of the hashtag coins, and he set up a bunch of banners, and he did my intro and outro. He took one of my
Nice.
songs and cut it and made an intro and outro.
This guy. God damn it, IQ.
Yeah, aesthetics and IQ. Yeah.
Yeah, we're covered now.
I literally almost made the joke, but I want to interrupt. I'm like, yeah, IQ probably heard all of that. But then, of course, IQ heard it. Oh, that's
I swear
funny.
he's mic'd my bedroom or something.
I probably. Who are
Actually-
you, IQ?
Take the battery out of your phone, Neil. Take the battery out.
Oh, please continue. Sorry.
Anyway, so I knew how to do some stuff on StreamYard, but that's all that I used, right? And I think Mikey, we're going to be working on utilizing a new format or something, right? Where you're going to be using like a stream, whatever the fuck it's called.
Streamlabs.
Oh,
OBS.
shit! I forgot to ask if I could swear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it.
It's not like I'm
Sweet.
not like foul mouth from Tiny Toons or anything, but
I am when I've had a few.
uh,
I was
Yeah.
a sailor, and that's how that works.
Mhm. Yeah. We curse. If Giggle is here, he has his half-naked kids running around in the background. It's fine.
Y'all braver than me.
Well, we could be banned one day, so we just
Yeah.
take care of it.
So
That's why he's
Fair
not here now.
we do the best we can.
My producer heckles are just like, no children on screen. No.
I know. It can't be helped. He has 3
welcome
boys.
back, Nick Tonius.
Hey.
You don't have to hate me, by the way. I'm not a bad guy.
Can you
I'm
put
good to your good
Matthew's?
shape.
Can you put Matthew's comment on the screen, please?
Matthew's
Oh,
not-
boy.
Is that something you called him one day?
Last night.
Jenna, this is your show, so I'll let you tell everybody the story about why that makes any sense.
Yeah, Jena.
I
You have to tell me the story.
don't. No, Mikey. Please.
Wait a minute. This is not a rusty trombone story, is it?
Absolutely not. There's a
Okay, never mind.
perfectly logical reason.
Hold on, Malty. You can tell your rusty trombone story after.
No.
No,
After
wait. I think I walked in on this, so I don't think I got the full
Oh, and
thing.
then we rewound to the beginning of the tape and played it out for you in full. You said, "Oh, that makes more sense." And go ahead, tell us what we said.
Nope.
I just want to have Jenna say it.
No, you should tell it because I don't remember parts of it. I just recall.
that's the excuse. I don't remember.
I didn't know she was
More
running for
probably
office.
blocked it out.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You're an
I do
excellent
not
politician.
recall.
I do not
I
recall.
do not recall.
I do not recall.
So my
Matt-
opponent here.
Yeah, I did not have verbal relations with that person.
what do you mean? What's your it depends on what your definition of is. So Matthew reminded all of us that our sphincters have taste buds.
That was me, actually, to start with.
Oh, well, there you go. Neil
Yeah.
told us that our butts,
That's when I
buttholes
walked.
have taste buds.
Yeah, correct attribution here.
And
Jeez.
then I think it was Matthew that said
Good.
something about the lips. The same skin we have on our lips is kind of the same ones around our butts. And then something Matthew said. He said, "Oh, I'm just a stupid asshole" or something. I'm like, You could be a tasteful asshole. Because it would be tasteful because you have taste buds on your asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
It's a good thing they don't work the same way as the taste buds in your mouth. Right?
Yeah.
Am I
There
right?
goes your medical advice for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you put hot food in your mouth, put it up your butt.
God, no.
Have I seasoned this properly? Let me give it a little
Thanks
taste.
for having me join your chat tonight, everyone.
Oh, you're leaving. I'm so sorry. So sorry you had to go so soon.
He's gonna go test this out.
Yeah.
Got some cupcakes downstairs with my name on them.
Oh my goodness.
Theo said that's why we're boofing our alcoholics.
Gross. But as far as like the technical stuff, like for me, I still have all these like grandiose, like lots of lights and moving things and sound bites and all this stuff. But that doesn't exactly fit with Neil's brand. Neil is very chill and relaxed, and everybody comes in and does their thing. So my lasers and fog machine ideas will happen after I convince him a little bit more later. So that's why there's a lot of stuff you can do with StreamYard to up everything, and the banners and all that stuff is cool and stuff like that. So I just went through and like, you know what? I can put videos up. Cool. Let's get that intro, outro. Let's do this. So little piece by piece by piece. But then once we switch over to the full Megatron that I have devised for him, it's going to be even betterer. And True North Talk is going to look very amazing.
Very
all the crazy stuff we got going on that.
Yeah. Right now we're basically just using all the the standard stuff as well, but we've been playing around with Streamlabs, and we did that chat with you one day where you showed me some stuff that was really cool, and just that virtual camera and being able to modify your live feed setup. There's a lot of different stuff you can do with it. And the basic stuff is free, but then when you get into Restream and all that stuff, and the premium Streamlabs like we have, or StreamYard, I mean, like we have, it's not too expensive, but I think it's definitely worth it.
It's like $1 a day.
Yeah,
and it looks cool. And I probably lose $1 a day falling out of my jeans. So,
wait, what?
I just lose money that's why I don't carry cash anymore. I just lose it. Sometimes I find it later, and I'm very surprised. But yeah,
that's the best thing ever when you find money in a pocket or something. You're like, oh shit! Look,
I found $30
in my pocket.
I found $30 in some jeans that got washed, and I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!"
That happens all the time.
Oh,
I think it was at some point some money was made out of like the same material as jeans, so it doesn't like fall apart when you wash it.
It's linen, yeah. U.S.
it's like a cotton blend.
Is a cotton blend, yeah.
Yeah, it's similar.
Quiet Gorilla wants to know: you people charge you $1 to take off your pants, Mikey?
It's kind of how it works.
Do they charge you $1 to take off your pants? Wait,
or do you charge people $1?
Yeah, so if I have to give you $1 and I can take off your pants, is that what we're talking about?
I haven't nailed down the specifics. I've been doing both just to see which makes me more money.
Okay.
Jenna's all like, what did I come back into?
Yeah.
Why do I always come back in the strangest spot?
I think
these full assholes all over again.
Who has the $1? Who's taking off whose pants? Just clarify.
Somehow I'm getting $1 and Mikey's pants are already off. We don't know what happened in between.
He fell out of his pants apparently.
Oh, that's the dollar fault you got. Now I'm up. Now I'm up to speed. I was lost there for a little bit.
Welcome to the show, Malty.
Oh, yes, so glad you could be here. I had a question. I lost it. The $1 and the pants. I lost.
threw you for a loop, eh?
Yeah, it did.
That happened a couple of times during my interview with Matt. I had this prime little question I wanted to ask. I eventually remembered and asked him, but at the time I was like, nope, it's gone. It's fucking gone. It's just like your brain just goes,
all gone.
No access to this thought right now.
Oh, crab apples.
So Neil, How often are your guests? They have no religious upbringing, so they don't technically have a religious deconversion story.
Right. I've had probably, I would say, percentage-wise, maybe 3 to 5%, somewhere in that range.
That's, I mean, for how many videos that you have, that's a very low percentage. But
Right.
I think that's kind of on par with the percentage of people, like the U.S. population, that is like an out, admitted, open atheist. So that would, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's probably a little bit higher than that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do bring people on that have been atheists their whole lives, and we talk about, of course, atheist community, and we talk about religious influences that have been in our lives, like people trying to get you involved with something, or you've gone and visited a church, and what was that experience like? Like, were you ever, things like that we talk about too.
Yeah.
So that people can hear our side of the story when you've been a lifelong atheist, so they can.
Yeah. So were you've never been religious?
Oh, I was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were raised Jewish, correct?
That's correct. I think that my story is a little bit kind of a kick to the pants of Christianity a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because I was raised Jewish, but I was adopted as a baby. I was brought home on Halloween Day after I was born. I was born October 20th, 1966. Yes, we had cars.
I was going to ask about hospitals.
Yes, we had. No, I was born in a cave. Sorry, I was hatched in a cave. No, but my folks that conceived me were both of Christian denominations. One was Catholic, of course, and they gave me up for adoption because my biological father, Barry's mom, my grandmother, was quite Catholic, and it was a big no-no to be unwed and have kids, right? So I was put up for adoption, and I was adopted by Jewish folks. So I always say to Christians that say, "Oh, the only way to God is through Christ." Well, yeah, but your silly little God made it so that I was adopted by Jews who don't believe in Christ. So are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, they missed one.
Well, I mean,
it was a test.
Yeah,
infant.
Yeah, you have to find your way back, right?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, test of the power of pullout, and I don't think it worked.
However, the cool part is I was conceived in the back of a 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop 2-door factory colors.
I called it.
I don't know how I was conceived. I don't know. I don't want to know.
I was about to say, I'm really glad that I don't know how I was conceived.
Thank you. Yeah.
Taking that one to the bank.
The odd thing is my father that I grew up with, my adoptive father, Frank, had a 57 Chevy Bel Air 2-door hardtop factory colors that he was saving for his son, his firstborn son, which would be me. Unfortunately, they moved from Florida, and my grandmother, his mom, decided that he needed to sell it before they moved.
No.
That close, man. That close. Man, that would have been a sweet ride.
That's a sweet fucking car.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
So, no, go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say, I grew up irreligious. Like it just wasn't a thing in my household. The only time I've ever been to church in my life is when I stayed at my cousin's house, and in order to stay the night there, I had to go to church with them in the morning. Like that was part of that's what they were doing. It was early, so it was like, if you're gonna stay, you can't just stay home by yourself. I was young, so I went that day, and then I went the next week because they were having a party. And all I remember is some story about the Noah's Ark and saving animals and then partying. That's my entire lifetime church experience. It's those two things. So I don't have any experience with that. Now, basically everybody around me, everybody at my school, all my teachers, most of my family, a lot of my friends are all religious. I've worked in places where I've had to interface with a lot of people that were explicitly religious and would talk about it often. But it was always like a mystery thing to me. When I was like a teenager, I kind of thought about it quite a bit of, well, if this is true, like, you get in these situations where you kind of wish it was true, so there's somebody there to save you and help you out. But then you're like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, who are you talking to? But it's definitely weird on the outside looking in, like, because when you have like a child's curiosity, you're always asking questions, and they kind of stamp that out of you. But when you're younger, you have a lot more questions, a lot more curiosity than you do when you're older, because you're too busy, pretty much. But it's definitely weird as like when you're growing up in an area that's like super religious and you're not, and you don't know what the hell everybody's doing. Like, what are you doing in church? You're just standing there, you sit up, you stand up, you sit down, you sing, you say some ridiculous hymns and
like exercise.
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you almost feel like you live in a crazy world. And then I got involved heavily into like science communication and debating with anti-vaxxers and anti-science people in general. And that is just as bad or worse than debating religious people. And so that was my kind of what drew me into the community is they tend to go hand in hand. People that are anti-science, anti-vaccine, anti-GMO, they kind of go hand in hand, and it's for religious reasons. They don't explicitly say that they dismiss all of the science and reason and stuff like that. So to affect it, Fish being a Catholic with lower lumbar sciatica,
Boy, let me tell you.
So to effectively argue and communicate and be a communicator in the science realm, you almost have to tackle the underlying issue, which is this like this religious indoctrination. So it's like a complicated mess of stacked beliefs, and you almost never get to the bottom of it unless you get to whatever they were indoctrinated of as like children.
Yeah, I also know non-believers that are anti-vaxxers too.
Oh yeah. It's everywhere. It's anti-vax is very complicated because it's on the left and the right. Is no particular political affiliation. There's no religious, no like, it's predominantly creationist, but it could be somebody that's perfectly reasonable otherwise. And they just fall into these traps of fear and motivated reasoning and misguided
misinformation.
Misinformation is most of it, and it's difficult. But the same arguments, the same reasoning, the same faulty logic, the same everything is used in these religious arguments that we see.
Yep.
So it's like it feels like having the same conversation over and over again with substituting a few words.
And that's kind of how like I got my start on YouTube, was being high spirited, shall we say, when it would come to like racial debates or debates on politics. And when you try to explain to somebody, no, what you're doing is harmful and dangerous, and you're putting people's lives at risk, and they keep whataboutism in you. Yeah. Or they want to fight a straw man, or they want to, I'm saying, you see all these logical fallacies pop up, and it's prevalent, whether it's race, religion, politics, it doesn't really matter. People hold on to these things because they want to, not because it makes sense, but simply because they want to. So getting people to, it is very validating for them in so many ways, and in a lot of ways that non-believers can't fulfill for them. Like, I can't give you that I'm going to see grandma again. I'll say it this way. I won't lie to you and tell you that. Right. I will only be honest with you. I won't lie to your face and fill you with so much false hope that there is no way that you can drop this illusion. And it's a tough row to hoe. And I mean, there's only so much you can do. Excuse me, my allergies are bad.
He said ho.
A row of them, in fact.
A row of them.
Multi.
What? Mikey said it.
No, wait a minute.
Wait, he started it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being besmirched.
I kind of tried to go through that with both my father when he was in end-stage cancer, and my sister when she was. My father was a deist. He said his God was a walk in the woods, and that's all he would say about it. And that's it.
He was a druid.
My sister went from this to that. I think she ended up Mormon at the very end. But man, when
Wow.
I remember when I went with her to talk to the surgeons one last time, hey, can we do something about this? And we were looking at pictures and how the cancer had just tucked itself up inside of her, around her digestive system, and there was no way that she wouldn't have made it off the table, as the surgeons told her. And after that, though, instead of trying to prepare, it just was this disbelief. It was this not being able to face what's going on, and just this steady weakening and decline. It was really sad. It was tough. It was definitely tough.
It sounds impossible.
Yeah.
Glad that you sound healed.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think to Mikey's point on that is that people are looking for an answer. They don't accept I don't know. They don't accept it just is, right? So they're looking for a scapegoat. They're looking for a reason. They're looking for someone to blame or something to blame.
Yeah.
But we see the same ideas and same concepts and same reasoning pop up on every topic. You know what I mean? Like I've been reading a lot about this whole $15 minimum wage thing that's really popular on Facebook, Bernie Sanders, yada, yada. But then you have like half of the political spectrum is convinced that if you're making enough money or more, that if you're making $15 an hour, then you're not going to be as motivated, or we're going to lose jobs, or if you're not poor and struggling, you're not going to work as hard. And I'll
do you one better. I've worked 15 years to get to this $15 an hour mark. How are they going to get it starting out? Like, they don't even see that they've been underpaid this entire time.
Exactly.
They're just so busy protecting their $15 that they don't want other people to be able to live.
I mean, the worst offenses are, there's soldiers over in Iraq that only make $15 an hour. Yeah, that's terrible.
What does that have to do with this?
But exactly what you said, though, it's whataboutism. And I make sure that I point that out, and I make sure that I also point out where it was popular from as Russian propaganda, and make sure I let them know that you're using a Soviet propaganda technique used to divert and ignore the problem, the conversation at hand. And, they don't like that very much, but
I guess not.
You're using Soviet tactics to...
You call me a communist?
Yeah. I know, commie. You're a Nazi and a commie and a socialist and everything else all at the same time.
Breathe deeply, comrade. We're all on the same side now.
Neil, were you on the non-profits with me and Cynthia when we were talking about the Christian nationalism? No,
well, we've talked about that sort of thing in a couple episodes. So
I
was though.
Yeah, so Andrew L. Whitehead and Samuel L. Perry, two psychologists, PhDs, have they put out some papers, and they wrote a book. It just came out March 2nd, 2020, Taking America Back for God, Christian Nationalism and the United States. I think I want to give a shout out to that. I think should be a good read for anybody that wants to get an idea of where these people's mindsets are, because they did a lot of work into it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it, but that sounds like something I'd read.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reason I found the book was because I was looking at their work for the news article that we were
I never heard that term until like 2 weeks ago, but it fits perfectly. It makes perfect sense. And it lines up exactly with the speech that the people in the orders people were given before they marched and kind of tried to take over the Capitol. Is that they were told explicitly, if you have to fight to save this country, they weren't told to go commit violence, but they were told you have to fight to save your country. Mm-hmm. And they exploit from healthcare and
oh no,
$15 an hour minimum wage, and I don't know, clean air.
Yeah, and all of that was God breathed to them. All of that was, we're doing this because God has Trump to be our president, blah 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 blah.
You know what? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's funny that Christians and Muslims and everybody will make fun of Mormons, and because Mormons have this like whole extra step of Christianity where it was brought to America and they follow what was his name?
Joseph
Smith.
But at the same time, all those same people will say that Trump is giving us directions from God. You know what I mean? It's absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
That they will make fun of Mormonism and dismiss it as being outright crazy, and then go follow another con man, giving them orders, and telling them that this is the Christian thing to do.
Yeah,
Trump me to think that Trump. Sorry.
No. I just wanted to say that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, to elevate Trump to a shyster like. Oh yeah, I guess.
Shyster.
He was
same level.
Not Trump, but
Joseph
Smith was imprisoned for, I believe, for malfeasance of some sort.
He's a convicted con man.
Oh yeah. So there you go. I guess
next week on America the podcast, and you'll see Trump in jail.
I don't.
America the podcast. You
know what, Mikey? We talked about that the last couple of weeks of what is the best thing for America to do with Trump post inauguration. And where's Giggler? But we had, there was a little bit of a conversation about it.
I got mad.
Do we embroil the Biden administration into this massive legal battle against Trump and all of his cohorts and businesses and everything else? Or do we just kind of just push it under the rug and move on with our lives and hope everything is peaceful and goes smoother and kind of look for, toward better days?
So a couple things there. I didn't see that episode, so I don't know whose side I'm taking.
Oh yeah.
But this is my unfiltered reaction. Did person A break rules?
Yeah.
If person A broke rules, then there are consequences for those, whether you are seated in the presidency or not. Right. And do we not have time to enforce our rules? I don't know. What kind of country are we?
Mm.
Yeah.
Are we a country that as long as it's expedient to take care of people who betray her trust and her loyalty, if we only do that when we have time to do it, then can we really call ourselves a just nation to begin with?
Right. And the argument against that from
don't say who, you traitor.
Well, I mean, it's out there, so whatever.
Bus driver Jena.
I got angry with him, so I love Giggler. Giggler, if you're watching, I love you, but yeah, you're wrong. So the argument against that was, well, he's super famous, he's well known. We don't want to upset and anger, that half of the country if we're supposed to come together or whatever he fucking said. And I was like, well, I'm still angry.
Well, so is that how the law works? Is the law is supposed to appease the most people at once, or is the law supposed to do what is just and what has been ruled just by the people who have been put as judges on our court system?
Right, but the way the law is supposed to work and the way it actually gets enforced is very different. We know that we have selective enforcement of the law.
What?
Lies.
Yeah.
I am just now hearing about this.
Yeah, so it's like So the argument is that he's too much money, too powerful, too embedded into a lot of different organizations to kind of bring down in a manner that won't disrupt the rest of the country.
What do you mean disrupt him? Not that it was your point to elaborate, but so Trump's gonna make a fiasco out of this. All right, let's say it costs $50 million for us to prosecute him. Do you know how much money we're gonna have to pay him for the rest of his life because we have to provide him Secret Service? Mm-hmm. He still gets a pension. Worth every damn penny. And let's not also forget that we spend how many billions of dollars on fighter jets in times of peace. I will throw in an extra dollar on my taxes, and I think 50 other million people will as well, so that we can prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law. Just set up the GoFundMe, and we'll take care of the legal costs.
That's right. I'll just follow Mikey around, and when he drops the money, then I'll put it in the GoFundMe.
Yeah, Mikey had this thing. Mikey had this thing about every transaction is $1 at a time.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just work there. I'm not the accountant.
That's how much money falls out of his pants. That's how much he pays for StreamYard. $1 a day to put Trump away. $1 a day to put Trump away.
Woo! Slap it on a bumper sticker. We're halfway there.
I like
$1
it.
a day puts Trump away. You should. Totally.
That should be a part of your merch. Somebody's merch.
Yeah, that'd be ours.
That'd be a merch.
I can't
We do merch.
Speaking of merch, we're working on merch for the channel. We got some great ideas that are coming up.
Oh yeah,
so funny.
You are
Neil merch.
Yep. Neelian.
The Neelian.
That's the newest. That has to be done as of last night. That has to be done now.
Yeah, I'm an official Neelian T-shirt will come out.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely want to get like either tie tacker pin for like the Happy Humanist, the Red Atheist A, and a Neelian, kind of like the Shmoo, but something different.
I have no idea how that's going to work.
I'm pulling it up right now.
We'll come up with something. Oh, you're talking about See, I put a mask on last night, and I have lived to regret that.
That alien mask? Yeah, I saw that.
Sure it was a mask.
No, you mean he took off his mask? Wait, you mean he took off his mask?
Right.
And now you know how the Neelians were born, Malty.
I see. That makes sense.
It's always
Theo, to answer a question that you had in the chat earlier, I did not end up with Israeli citizenship. I was a couple of months away from actually. You have to be there for 3 years, and then they offer it to you after you've done some military training, which I did. But my parents were like, no, come home. So there you go.
There you go.
Wow.
How fast did that get up? Who did this? Was it? It was something nice, right? Oh no, it's IQ. Okay, it's always one of them.
Took him about 4 minutes. Noted in my inbox, and I was like, excellent.
I now have a new wallpaper.
IQ made the point that happy Trump supporters means a lot more trouble than salty ones in the long run. I think I've come to be convinced that that's true. Because we talked about what happens if you don't convict or try or get him out of the limelight one way or another. Is that he starts a 24/7 a far right alt-right recruitment cycle of a media channel. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's mainstream Alex Jones with his own cult of QAnon and far right and Christian nationalists, and it'd be incredibly profitable and incredibly effective. Mm-hmm. And what do you do about that?
Well, you do what they've been doing. Is you have to stop the spread, just like any virus. You have to stop it from spreading as quickly and as voraciously as it wants to. So that means, sorry, Parler, I'm hosting your shit, and if this is what's going on here, I'm not gonna host your site anymore. Yeah. And now they're like, oh, how can Amazon do this? Because it's their servers. They can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want with it. And if you are making them money, then we'll give you some leeway. But if you are endangering people's lives and doing shit like setting up storming the Capitol, then no, you don't have a place here. and you're not entitled to one, Republicans. You're not entitled to a platform.
No. And the little server that is trying to host them now is just saying they don't have the resources.
Yeah, we saw their resource request, and it's astronomical.
Maybe
it can only be provided by a major data center.
And I don't think anyone's going to give it up to them.
Not anytime soon.
Now.
It's too financially damaging.
Yep.
There's no benefit of providing. They might. I mean, the cost of the tech requirements that they're asking for might be 10 or 20 grand a month. I mean, but what's that to a Google or an Amazon? You know what I mean? Compared to the losses they're going to suffer.
Yeah, because it's always funny to me that the extreme right wing, who is so for everyone gets a gun, open and free capitalism, all this shit. They stormed the Capitol with no guns because couldn't go in there with guns, and now capitalism is shutting down all of the little naughty boy sites. Capitalism, not because they're trying to silence you, it's because you don't make them money. You're not a good product.
My canned response so far the past couple of days for people that are complaining about free speech being stifled is, I want access to the White House press room with reporters available, and if I don't have that, then I'm being silenced. I'm being censored.
Well, a lot of people were saying that
it's a public building, right?
When Trump stopped having his press meetings, they just stopped doing them altogether because he could not stop making an ass of himself. People were saying you're kind of stifling our rights here. The press has a right to ask you these questions.
Yeah,
and he was just like, nope, not doing it. I'm gonna send out this random chick, and then this random chick, and then this random chick, and then he just had to keep going through the Rolodex because none of them would answer questions.
It was all one way. I mean, he's essentially a reality show content creator that it just makes shit up, publishes it, and never looks back. And the next hour, the exact same thing, over and over and over again. He never interacts with anything he said in the past. He doesn't interact with anybody that challenges it or criticizes it. He doesn't answer for anything that he's done. He just keeps rolling, and nobody has the authority to stop him.
Well, they do now.
Yeah, well, I mean, now we do, but that's how he's gotten away with it, and people eat it up. There's people asking it. The people that stormed the Capitol building the only way that any of that ever made any sense is they fully expected to win and for him to pardon all of them, or they just got away with it because they're winning and he's still in office.
Yeah,
that's the only way that makes sense. Is they fully expected to achieve their goal. And now they're all in federal prison asking for pardons, and he doesn't know who a single one of them is, and he doesn't care.
Funny thing about impeached presidents, can't pardon people. Another reason to impeach him.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Well, if the Senate impeaches, but they need 67 votes, and it's probably not going to happen because.
But as of now, his powers are halted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to halt him?
That's there.
Before he can get anything else done before he leaves. Yeah. So now he can't do anything while impeached.
Yeah, because he's technically impeached. He's just not convicted.
Yeah, with the House vote, he was impeached. What was that, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
I hate
so fast.
I hate the political landscape now because I don't even like Biden. It's just like you have to, defend the Democrats and Biden because Trump is so terrible.
Yeah, but believe me, dude, from a Canadian standpoint, you guys are in a far better shape now that he's going to be running shit than Trump.
Well, every cabinet post is an expert in their field, which is like a whole different world. Like it's a universe away from.
That's where I was going to go. Yeah.
I mean, we have Ben Carson went to my high school, and he's a scientist and a neurosurgeon. And just because he's black and from Detroit, they put him in charge of They put him in charge of HUD.
HUD, yeah.
Oh, who's
housing and urban development?
The one that
it's like, dude, you haven't seen the projects in 50 years. Get out of here.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What he's gonna do is just gonna walk into the projects and just whisper condescendingly to everybody in the hood. That's what he can do.
You can all be neurosurgeons if you try hard enough.
Just here. I'm selling these bootstraps. You can pull yourself up with them.
I'm actually, I'm right now. I'm.
Can I get a, is that a 36i, 48i boots, 48 inch? How long are those?
Oh, for your instinct. Yeah.
What would you say, Neil?
Right now, I'm actually plowing away through one of the Great Courses Plus things on neuroscience, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just
is that on Audible?
Yes, they do have them on Audible. I'm actually on their website.
Oh, good.
Right, so.
Oh, you're way better than me. If I can't audiobook it now, I never get to it.
Oh no, I read some, then I listen to some. I've got both, right? So I
good.
just I do a little bit of mix up when I'm on the road. I'll listen to it in the car, but it's much better when I read it because I tend to retain more. So
definitely.
I'm not ever going to claim to be an expert on neuroscience now, for sure, but having a little bit more understanding of how the brain works is really interesting to me, right?
Yeah.
Like
Isn't that funny how if we're talking about politics or vaccines or socioeconomic issues or a whole host of other subjects, if we read one book on it, we feel like we can have a conversation about it, right?
Not even close, man.
But if it's neuroscience, we're going, we might talk about how cool it is, but we're not going to criticize the technique of like a brain transplant. You know what I mean? But
try doing 4 years of fucking hardcore schooling, and then you can have some conversations.
Right, but when it's something that's social, everybody feels like they're an expert on it after reading, something that's less than a Wikipedia page.
Right.
And I think one thing that's kind of lost on, I won't say like just this generation, but I would say like everyone in this time period is like, I'm a big history buff. And history is so important when you want to talk about anything with politics, because everyone wants to, most people want to start from their life and then move forward from there. They want to legislate that way and they want everyone else to live that way. It's like, well, no, other people have been here before you. Okay, so what happened to them and why are they in that situation? Well, there's people. So unless you want to, if you're not a history buff, you can't really spout off on politics and actually know what you're talking about. Like you have to know about the civil rights. You have to know, and it's so deep. It seems like every day there's like 15 books about history that comes out. Because like in our like short little lifespans, we have some major events, but there's so much more that happened before we got here, or that we just missed because we were too young, or just were really having a great time in our early 20s, just fucking throwing it down, just having a great time. So you miss things.
Well, I think as more information is available in this, we're like an instant gratification culture, right? Mm-hmm. Like before in class, if when I was a kid, if a teacher said, "Hey, what did this person say about this? Go home and research it," I'd have to go look it up, go to a library or something. Right. But now I'm just like, oh, can you say that again into my Google? And then it'll pop up for you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But so we feel like we have everything that we need at our fingertips.
And you technically do.
But yeah, you do to navigate today and this moment. But there's no introspect, there's no retrospect, there's no looking back at how they did it before. So we also have a collective superiority complex where, well, yeah, they didn't have the internet and they didn't have vaccines. They were, they probably just did the things the wrong way, using leeches and
trepanation.
Yeah, they were like, they thought codes were caused by demons and evil spirits and stuff. What would they know about anything?
Cigarettes are good for you. Help you suppress your appetite and keep you slim.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's why we have.
I need to start smoking. Is that wait, what?
No, don't buy the bullshit.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend Marlboro brand cigarettes. That was like in the 40s though. Like everyone smoked after dinner because like, oh, that was cool. But then they're like, wait, I got cancer from this. Why didn't they tell me?
Yeah, I think that. Well, and I'm not a history person at all. I find it incredibly boring, and so from me. Really? I don't know how else to say that.
It's like the greatest fantasy story you will ever read.
But
except it's reality.
Except it already happened.
I mean, that might be the case, right? But I'm so fond of the technological stuff of IT, of AI, of the internet, that I have a hard time relating to things that happened back then. Because I feel like they just sat around like by candlelight and like I don't know what they did. I don't know what the hell happened back then.
I think we were
like a lantern, like an oil lantern. What?
My quill.
Hey, baby, what's on NetScroll tonight? I'm just trying to read something new.
Right.
Yeah.
They thought a
Turn up
comedy
that
was
lamp
like with a hat on. Like they didn't like just doing things in a castle somewhere.
we had to look towards the past to kind of look towards our future by reflecting on our past. Nowadays we have other ways of doing things. I mean, we have artificial intelligence. We can run sims of okay, if we put money into healthcare, how does it change the landscape? If we put money into different things and then kind of run it forward and do emulations, you can kind of get an idea of where a good idea, where we can better target our energy, I think.
I think so. So I know that learning history is important, and being a history buff is important. It'll gain you a lot of valuable insight. There's a limited range of human responses and human characteristics and behaviors and way that we approach events, right? So if you're a big history person and you've studied back thousands of years, you have a really good idea of this thing is happening. These people are starting from this position of this political standpoint. This is how they're going to respond to that. I just, like I said, I just find that boring.
Because I mean, like, if you look at Germany in the 40s and these dick for brains fucking storming the Capitol, you can find a lot of parallels where people are getting
like that Arnold made a video about that,
which was excellent. But people get all jazzed up about a leader. Okay, where have we seen this before, and how did it go? Not great.
You need we can invest in better stuff than the military. Yeah. I mean, welcome to the U.S., where one fighter plane can feed 10,000 families. But
that is true, Theo.
So, wow. No. The reason I was gonna say, because I was earlier. I was trying to bridge our initial conversation about the whole insurrection of a couple weeks ago with the Christian faith and everything, and just took off into politics, which I love about Justin. That's why
I'm sorry.
No.
Damn it, Justin.
It's usually the gigglers here, and we kind of like offset a little bit because I have to pull him back, but there's no one here to pull me back.
Yeah, no, that's why I just let him go, because when I can get Justin to talk, it's a good thing.
Yeah, because she could just sit back and sip wine and enjoy the show, I guess.
Yes, I'm enjoying the show.
I can't push the what you eating button. I feel strange, Neil.
Well, you want some buttons? Look, Mikey, you can come on and customize this however you want, and you can have all your buttons.
Sounds good to me.
Please, I don't know what I'm doing. No, but
you can get points and shit too, whatever you want.
All too easy.
Everybody got points. No, what I was going to say, just bridging a little bit, just to round this out, is that since, Neil, you do these deconversion stories, have you ever felt, and I've met people like this, where, they feel like their goal, especially since they were once religious themselves, they feel like, oh, now it's my goal to go out and challenge others that are still in that religion, or try to talk people or deconvert them out of it. So has that ever been your goal? Is that your goal doing this ultimately?
I wouldn't say that's my goal. I would say that would be a positive side effect, because I know that there are going to be people watching the show, what I do, and talking to people, and they may be hovering on that border, that fence. Like, do I still believe? Do I not believe? And if they hear these stories of people knowing that there's a community they can safely go to. Mm-hmm. And oh my goodness, there's other people that are having doubts just like me, or that had doubts just like me, found their way free and had a nice little cushion of a bunch of these wonderful folks that are welcoming and seem to be caring. I feel better, and maybe I can give all this up now. And to hear these folks talk about how they used to believe, figured out it was nonsensical, and found their way out, maybe I can do the same thing. And that's more my goal. I'm not out to deconvert people, right? I don't go around going, yeah, give up your fucking religion. I don't do that, right?
Let it go.
Or else.
I do use, a little in the day-to-day, I still do use sort of an epistemological approach when I talk to people about their beliefs, and maybe having those conversations once in a while does kind of push them in a little bit of the direction. Yeah, maybe I should think about what I believe, because really you got to think about it. If you refuse to question the things you believe, you will never know whether or not they're actually true.
Yep.
And that's what I try to spur people into.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of beliefs, or people that hold beliefs, and they only hold it because they've never questioned it.
That's right.
They were told it one time, they believed it, they ran with it, and it's never been an issue for them within their community, and they've never had to question it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And now then it's so embedded and so natural to believe that thing that it's hard to come out of that. But
the decoupling.
But like you said, just giving them that opportunity to question that in a way that's not in a hostile environment, and then letting them walk away and kind of be on their own with that new thought. That's can be really powerful. I saw a Facebook post earlier in this group called Where the Science Things Are.
That's good.
Nice.
That's good.
It's a spin-off group from the old Science Enthusiast group, which was a group from the Science Enthusiasts, Dan Broadbent, who was in the SciComm community. But it's now spun off in its own a whole big thing.
Cool.
But the post was about somebody who was a really popular anti-vaxxer that went viral for their anti-vax positions. And when they started first having doubts and first having questions about vaccines and the science behind it and the safety and efficacy, the anti-vax community welcomed them with open arms, took them in, nurtured them, showed them all their information, their stories, their anecdotes. Hey, we're here for you. We're on your side. Those people are evil, but we'll protect you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then over time, that wall started breaking down, and they got legitimately sick, and they ended up in the hospital. And real doctors, the same doctors that were pushing vaccines, are the ones saving your life for something completely unrelated.
Can I go pee?
Yeah.
Real quick?
Yeah, you know what? Me too. I'll be right back. We'll be back.
I'm literally doing the pee-pee dance while sitting down.
Beer will do that to you.
Pee break. That's good.
Yeah, but once you break the seal,
Oh, okay.
All right, they're gone, guys. Let's talk about them.
Headphones on.
Oh, shit.
I still have my headphones.
Oh, are you going to pull a Randolph?
Who gave him those Bluetooth headphones?
Yeah. Make sure to mute that mic, please.
Oh, Matthew's not here anymore, but...
Oh, yeah. Matthew is a character.
Yes, he is.
He is a character, that guy.
Dang.
Gotta love him.
That was too much. This is a little longer than we usually run. We usually run less than an hour, but we're so excited to have extra guests. It's thrilling. Mikey Famine, please, while we have a moment, while you're here, please tell us, what do you do besides be the awesome producer of Neil the 604 Atheist?
I am one of 5 co-hosts on the life-changing, groundbreaking, blockbuster podcast. Look, can she do it? There she is. She got me. Called The Bin Podcast. We go live every Thursday around midday, 2 p.m. Central, 12 out west for you lazy sunshine people. We talk politics and social issues and general things of that lot. We haven't had much to talk about this year. It's been very slow in the news. Not a lot of big things going on.
That's too bad.
Yeah, we've been really struggling to
find content,
to find something.
To be as full of shit as you are, it's hard.
try to find anything to speak on that happened in the last week, over the last 52 weeks. It was really hard to think of stuff.
That's different.
But it's not all just American stuff, because Shartan is in Sweden, but he's Norwegian, and Wayne is in the UK.
Mhm.
So Brexit has come up, and since COVID and stuff, we've had 3 different physicians and 1 doctor of infectious medicine on the show.
Nice.
That's kind of our main thing, is we just really just kiss ass and just suck up to people who are very smart, and we get them on to explain cool stuff to us. And
that's how you got your job with me.
Damn you. Back from the bathroom so soon. So yeah, we've had a bunch of very interesting people on, and we're hoping to get more in this next year. A couple of very big name. James O'Brien, if you guys are familiar with any like UK broadcasting, he's a pretty big deal. So he's going to be on. Landon Curtinel will be back on the show. So it's gonna be a good year for the show. And yeah, check us out Thursdays, 2 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. GMT, and 12 p.m. Western Standard Time.
It's a lot of time.
Western Standard Time.
It's Western to me.
Yeah. What's the name again?
The Bin. I will grab
Bin.
a link and put it in the private chat.
Oh, the real producer already put it in the channel.
Got it. Thank you.
Real producer.
I don't know what that link is, because our YouTube link is just our name. So
Whatever. Okay. I
don't know what that is. That might be our last video that she's posted. So I thank her for that.
No. I went to the actual. You know what? I'm fired.
I'm just saying.
I'm fired. I
Yeah.
quit.
I quit. Don't give up, Jenna. Don't give up.
Well, that's the end of this show forever. Jenna quit.
I can't keep up with shit. No, I know. Being what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Welcome back from your potty break, boys. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, I can
Something
keep,
about the bin.
Yeah, keep ranting while you're thinking.
Please.
No, I just wanted to finish up my little story with the people that are welcoming, that are nice to you, that are kind of bringing you into their family and their community. It's a lot easier to be convincing when you feel like they're on your side.
Oh yeah.
That's why the anti-vax movement is so powerful, because it's a bunch of crunchy moms saying, I'm on your side. Those evil doctors and corporations and politicians are the ones trying to hurt you. But
It's not even that. Yeah, it's even more than that, because I was just seeing, just read the headline of a study just coming out that even if you know what is saying is true, if it goes against your belief structure, you have a harder time telling to other people.
Yeah.
You won't say it, even though you know it's true.
Yeah, I mean, we had this conversation on this show a few times of what it takes to actually convince people of something. And it's not just regurgitating facts or being the most knowledgeable in the room. It's developing almost like a tribal relationship with that person,
rapport,
getting on their side and making them feel like you're part of they're part of your in group. And then you can convince them of almost anything if they're convinced that you have their back and their best interest in mind.
Yeah.
The facts don't matter. It's the emotional connection to the information.
How to have impossible conversations, right there beside Neil.
There you go.
Yeah. And,
what? One of my after parties already knows all the shtick about me having everything within reach.
Anyways, guys.
You mentioned it on the nonprofits today.
You mean that one?
Yeah.
Mikey, I'd love to join sometime if I'm home at that time.
Me too. But that's my lunch break while working.
It's a challenging time to record, but we have 9 time zones to cross.
Right.
So from one to the other. And then the other show that I do is Voice from the Underground, the podcast, which is very, very heavy into politics, very little social issues, just very policy driven. And it's me and a couple of elder statesmen, Big Haas and Dutch. And that is actually going on tonight at 10:30.
Oh, nice.
We recorded super late.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, I think sorry, Jenna, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Mikey, you constantly keep yourself busy.
Yes, my fiance is very mad at me.
Well, if she threw a green cup at you, nobody would know.
Her cups are pink. Her cups are pink for that exact reason.
Are you gonna say, Justin?
No, that I think what Mikey's doing is super important. Is reaching, even though we as a community and people as do these kind of shows, we're known as atheists, talking about atheist and religious content. Jena, we've had this conversation over and over again. The most important thing to do, in my opinion, is to reach outside of this community and have conversation with experts that are in science and like vaccines and politics and social issues and medical issues, and get those people and pull those people in. Because I mean, what a lot of us don't see is there's a like a sister community of science communicators and scientists they're all atheists, but they don't talk about atheism religion because that's divisive within their own community.
Right.
Within the community of science.
And it's not exactly pertaining to the issues at hand.
Right.
Like, someone's belief doesn't really come into whether or not this bill should pass or whether or not I just discovered this here. Like, it's like, aha, and that proves that God is fake, right? It's just like, really?
Yep.
I just found a black hole, the closest black hole to our solar system ever, and then you're trying to, like, really?
Yeah, I mean that's somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson is a perfect example where he's an atheist or a non-believer, whatever you want to call it, but he very rarely talks about religion. He only talks about it in the context of how it negatively impacts new science discoveries.
That's right.
Because that topic is divisive in their community, but they have the same alignment and the same beliefs and the same skepticism, but they know that that's a hot topic issue that is going to push followers away. But it's important to bring them in and have conversations about the things that they think are important and they're experts on, and start to slowly bridge those communities.
Yeah. And I love that. And, much respect to, when I joined, Justin was one of the very few that, reached out to me and we started a conversation. I think, with Justin's history of fighting people on Facebook and fighting anti-vaxxers on Facebook, and I think your reach out to me was just asking me because you had heard or I had mentioned I was a nurse. So you're asking me a bunch of questions and stuff, and that's how we kind of got connected. And I, bridging that, just as Justin was saying, bridging that, because a lot of that still surrounds, with belief. It surrounds with non-belief, I should say, because belief kind of interrupts all that. Because if you hold on to a certain belief, you hold on to this mindset that that let go and let God, and then just the inability.
Sorry, couldn't get the mute button.
Mike, you fucking up the show.
My bad. My allergy pill stopped working.
Dang.
No, you're fine. You don't have to mute yourself.
You're good. No, just shit, Mikey, I forgot what I was gonna say. But this is a good thing. This is a good thing that we, we're able to speak outside of just talking about religion all the time, speaking about the medical and the science and the technology, which is important to us, but may be important to so many other people because, as non-believers, and we're just not all about just, fuck religion. Because in my approach is that, yes, I recognize the harm one's faith or their identity to a religion harms, the political and social society when they are like the people that, did their thing 2 weeks ago, or any other common person that wants to push their faith on other people in order to control their life. When I look at, more of a personal, emotional aspect, say my family or someone else's family, and how that faith holds them together, I make it a point to not draw them out of that. But I make it a point to also let other people know that if you come across a person that holds on to a faith for their own personal emotional reasons, then don't talk them out of that. Have a conversation to understand why that is for them, not to have a conversation to be like, okay, but what about this logical fallacy, or just debating them, because it's too much and too often that you find the aggressive conversation aggressive nature of non-believers against believers. Of course, we classically see it in moderating ACD, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more important, if we're all going to live in the same space, if we're all going to live on Earth, we need to understand one another versus trying to be aggressive and attack one another. So
there are no other options currently. So
right, and just drawing it back to what you do, Neil, and thank you for saying what you said about it's just a positive side effect to what you do for your channel. Yep. And I know,
I was gonna say, sign me up for Planet Neil to be a Neilian.
Yes. Another thing with Justin, yes,
Xenu.
Xenu, Planet 9.
Yeah. Another thing with Justin, he doesn't have a deconversion story, but I appreciate, with him, just as what I was saying, he has a willingness to listen to other people's, like my story, and get an understanding of where and how people came from that. And so that's a basic, excellent example of a person that's never had religion in their life, but their patience and their willingness to understand that person and why they had been in that faith. And classically it's because of family, but still why people would still go through that faith is important. So maybe Justin will talk a little bit more about that on his non-deconversion story with Neil the 604 Atheist, after Multi, of course, because Multi
I like how Mikey can say a lot of things when it's not his turn to talk.
I've been mostly silent since my sneezing incident of 2021.
But to round it out, because just to round it out with you, Neil, I know still QG is still in the chat because he made you cry last night. And I feel like I almost made you cry one time, but I'll try again.
Is that what we've been going for this whole time? Because I missed out on that. I didn't know the goal was to make someone cry. I'm sorry.
Every night is to make Neil cry through laughter or heartfelt love.
Go for it. I'm ready.
There you go.
Got the box of tissue.
Yeah.
It's
everyone's like, why does he have a box of tissue in his room? You'll have to check out my Pornhub channel.
Woo!
Onlyfans.com/Neil the 604 Atheist for all your premium needs.
Is that only $1?
Yeah, it's only $1.
Only $1. Yeah, that's all it's really worth. Anyways, you might want to refund afterwards. So.
That's per day, though.
There may be pants, there may not.
Oh God. Shit. What I was gonna say is,
can I interrupt you real quick? So I had this idea to make an OnlyFans, and what I would do on the OnlyFans would just be like chores around the house, because I feel like a lot of women would really be into that. Just see, like, I'll empty the dishwasher, and then I'm gonna fold the laundry.
That's a really popular, like, viral Facebook post.
Vacuum out the little nooks and crannies on the couch. Ooh, that's gonna do it for somebody.
Yeah, like mom groups are filled with like the sexiest thing this guy can do is empty the dishwasher and fold the laundry. And there's like a million comments on it.
Take my cup, put it in the sink, look at the camera, and then put it in the dishwasher. They're gonna be like, ow! He's got a slab.
Yeah. If you move the couch out of the way, the vacuum underneath it, woo!
Oh.
You lift the detachable arm of the vacuum up and suck all the cobwebs out of the corners.
Oh yeah, you get those dust bunnies. Oh my goodness.
See, I don't do Multi's already getting wet.
I like how I'm the only female in here, and you all are just getting wet from just saying this.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
what
like,
can
okay.
you say except sploosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would say I'm moist, but I don't know if I'm able to.
You know what, Multi? You started off acting all innocent on this show.
A fan. Fuck.
Oh no, it's.
Oh, I bet now that the snow is here, I can shovel the walk. I could shovel the walk. That's got to be some winter time. Like the winter moms would love that.
Get some warm.
Then
what is a winter mom?
And then they're like the salt Bay. Put the sidewalk salt down.
Yeah, the Canadian moms are gonna love you.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my God, that's a 15 horsepower snowblower.
It's like those corners, Mikey.
Oh my goodness! All right.
So yeah, back to what you were gonna throw accolades my way or something.
Yeah, more. Yeah,
You know what? Fuck it. Thank you, Mikey.
we're gonna this is the praise Neil 604 show.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Thanks for doing what you do, Neil.
Yes, in all seriousness, yes. For me, and I think I did mention this when I did my story with you, is that, you know, it's hard for a person to identify and find community, because when you leave a portion of your life that already had that, it's so easy that, especially for Black African Americans, you know, religion is so in depth in the culture that, you know, it's all about community. And so when you can't self-identify or find someone on the other side too easily, and I experienced this for several years back and forth, too easily you fall back into that. So, you know, I'm fortunate that people like Justin, people like Multi, people that I've grown to learn and love and be friends with on the server, and now being introduced to you through, you know, just you being a part of the nonprofits and then asking me to do the story, I was like, yeah. So it's thanks to people like you that genuinely care about people. And that's it. Just genuinely caring about people, genuinely wanting to understand and learn, and knowing when to shut the fuck up and just listen to what people have to say. Because everyone has a story, and everyone, you know, that story is important to them. So to have that validation and to feel confident enough to, you know, relay that to someone that you never met in person is a lot. And I think you definitely demonstrate that level of being personable, being welcoming, being someone that is, you know, genuinely just a good person at heart. And that's important. And I admire folks like you that display that, because, you know, when it takes whatever kind of push it takes myself to actually be more open, you know, I have something to fall back on. I have, you know, a community of people that, you know, will hold me and support me through the time that I'm, you know, at my lowest. So, you know, good on you, Neil, for doing what you do and continuing to do what you do. I know you have a lot of fans and a lot of people that support you, and people that you in turn support as well. So thank you for your contribution to, you know, the community, and for doing what you just do so well, hands down.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for all the amazing guests that I've had to come on and share their stories. So I take my hats off to the people that have, you know, that might feel that they might be a little scared to do so. And I've had some like that, but they garner up the courage and they get on and they tell their stories. And I've had emails come in saying that they felt so much better after doing that. And that's another thing that I really aim to do, is make people feel good and safe, and like a burden was lifted once they shared their story.
I can attest to that. That's exactly how I felt.
Well, there you go. So it pleases me, and thank you, Jena, for telling that. So I'm going to continue to do this for as long as I possibly can. I'm pretty sure I'll never run out of atheists to interview. So
no, that's true. That's
true. Which is a good thing. But
job security.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I could do this full time, I absolutely would.
Yeah, I want to add to that you're one of the few people that is just as much focused on networking other people together with your after shows, and you're interacting with the chats, and, you know, just kind of coming on shows like this, is you're just as much as focused on building the community and getting, you know, just the most, you know, day one, don't know anybody atheists, and you know, and coming across people that have been atheists for years, or really popular, or have their own channels, or you have, you know, your regulars, just average people, you know, bring them into an after show with Matt and R and Ra, you know, where they would never have otherwise had that opportunity to interact with them, right? And it's just that part of it seems to be just as important as building your own content, your own channel, and your own brand. And there's a lot of people that kind of lose sight of you're part of the community. You're part of the movement. You're part of this. You're not just a person pushing content and hoping enough people like it, right? The community is there. I need the community just as much as they need me, and it's definitely a two-way street.
Yeah.
And the more people you build up, the more people you bring together, and the more different aspects of life that you bridge together, it just
it makes us better.
Yeah, being in the middle of that, now you get to know, because every person, whether they're a day one atheist with never been on video or never talked to another atheist in their life, they have something to contribute to the community and to everybody else around them, whether they see it or not, whether other people see it or not. You know what I mean? Everybody has something to add, and it's important to treat them that way. And that's definitely what we see on your show, and why it's so inspiring. And
thank you.
It's, we look to it a lot, and I know Jena goes on your after show pretty much every time now because of stuff like that. And she's interacting with a lot of other people now because of that. We would have never otherwise come across or communicated with people that are coming on our show now and just hanging out and having a good time. So it's super important to have that, and it's really good.
It is. Thank you.
Jena better not stop coming on this after party.
Yeah, she's obsessed. She's ridiculous.
He tells me to sleep, and I'm like,
I'm like, it's like 2 a.m.
I'm dead.
Yeah, that's basically where we're at with that.
First he tries to make you take the vaccine. Now he's trying to tell you to sleep. See how he is?
Yeah.
Vaccine.
You are the most anti-American person I've ever met.
You're welcome.
Anyways,
welcome to Canada.
Right. We're gonna give you good health care whether you like it or not. God damn it.
Yeah.
Malty just has a few steps to take, and he could be here.
Oh yeah, I was.
You got ride your scooter up there, Malty.
Yeah, scooter. No, I'll take the ferry. I haven't been on that. It's a nice ride, I hear. So, what do they call those things? Hydrofoil.
Hydrofoils, yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's a nice ride up to the island, and then I'd have to take the bus across. But
how fast does it go?
Whatever, I could meet you on that side and drive you back over.
There we go.
Ferry.
Yeah, you just have to get right on the border.
We'll get drunk in Victoria, sleep in a hotel, then we'll drive back to the mainland the next day.
Oh yeah. See the gardens, that kind of thing.
Hell yeah! You go to the bug museum. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You can hold tarantulas and shit. It's great.
No,
I want to go.
I used to raise them.
I
used to raise tarantulas. I had a friend that worked in the movie industry. He used to wrangle for the movie industry insects, cockroaches, tarantulas, centipedes, you name it. And he had me take care of a few for a couple of years anyways. I ended up keeping one. He was a Chilean rose hair tarantula. And I got him trained to the point where he could come out and sit up on my shoulder, and I could hand feed him mealworms and stuff. And he'd sit there. We'd have a barbecue, and I'd have him. His name was Elvis. And I used to bring him out of the cage, and I just put my hand on the table like this, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, watch, Elvis." And they can hear, by the way. And he'd come up and crawl up my arm and sit up here, and I'd give him a little piece of a grasshopper or mealworm or something and hand feed him. They're like,
you know what, Neil? If anybody else told us that they trained a tarantula and fed them grasshoppers, I would question it.
No,
if it was anybody else.
I also had one of the coolest species. My favorite, anyways, is the pink toes. They're one of they have a few communal tarantula species. Pink toes are one of them. So I had like a giant tank that had 5 of them in there, and they build little webscapes, like a tarantula apartment buildings, basically, where they all have their own little nook, and then they meet up and they share food, and it's crazy to watch them. And I had a Goliath bird eater who you could spread its legs out over the edge of your dinner table.
You see, we want to talk about atheism and politics, and Neil wants to talk about bird feeders.
Bird eaters.
Bird and Goliath,
and they don't eat birds. It's very, very rare that you'll catch one actually eating a bird.
It was named Dave from Davey. Was it named Dave from Davey and Goliath?
No.
What? Hey, Davey.
Oh, Dave. Yeah. No. Oh, I never even thought of that, but no.
That was you shouldn't. All right, retroactively named Davey.
Maybe they named him that because of that.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense. Davy the Goliath. Yeah, you're right. That kind of makes sense. I never thought about it, even though it's a fucking funny show. I watched it as a kid, and every time they got biblical, I was like, "Oh God, change the channel."
Yeah.
Sesame, where are you, Sesame?
Well, we can talk more about bugs in the after show at the Tiny URL Discord server or the International Free Thinker server if you want.
Jenna, you're a fucking hater. Cutting us off.
Man. I don't care.
We brought in spiders.
Like,
that's it. It's over.
Big bag of nope. Cut the cord.
that was
I used to like Neil.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't want this to be the 45-minute, call.
Oh yeah, right. 45-minute warning, folks. 45-minute warning.
Yeah.
Hey Jenna, did you want a link? No, I'm good.
No, on this show we don't play around. It's we're ending now and then hit the button.
Dun, dun, dun.
Real pro. You'll get it. You'll get it when your stream stops. Anyway.
Yeah, when you become a real producer. All right, hit the button. Gotta go.
Wait, let me do my ending.
Like and subscribe.
If you want to chat with us a little bit more, I know we won't keep Neil and Mikey long because I know Mikey got to do his thing, but we'll be on the International Discord server. Find us if you're not already joined at tinyurl.com/discordif. Multi, you had something?
Yeah. Hey, so there's somebody in the chat that I just wanted to wish a happy birthday to.
Woo! Let's get into that.
Oh shit.
I'm
Shit.
sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, happy
birthday!
Oh, Stiddick's birthday.
It's Stiddick's birthday. That's why he took the day off.
Birthday, Stiddick.
Or the fact that he stayed up in the middle of the night. I don't know. Whatever his
Cheers.
excuse is. Happy birthday, Stiddick's. Yes, thank you.
My cup runneth over.
All of you have jumped the gun. I knew you should have had it. You had it covered.
She's a producer extraordinaire.
Yeah, extraordinaire.
She'd never forget her mod's
You're welcome.
birthday.
You're welcome, Sticks. And of course, thank you so much, Neil, for joining us on IFWAS. So, you can all, if you haven't, subscribe to Neil's channel at youtube.com/Neil the You have a TikTok now.
I do.
Where is that? What is that?
Fuck all on it. I just watch the videos and laugh my ass off. I will be putting up some content eventually, but it's going to take me a little bit of time.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I like it.
TikTok's a riot.
And then obviously Mikey, the extraordinaire producer, has his own show, the Grand Podcast. You can like and subscribe to his YouTube channel and Twitch as well. Mikey, we'll be having you on too once we kind of work out a schedule where you're not also producing at 10 other places in one day. So I do
roughly 10 shows a week.
I said it about right then.
Yeah.
That was a good guess.
Roughly.
I do one, so this is pushing it. This is rough.
It gets easier, and then it gets so much worse.
It's that and the fact that Justin does all the memes and all the research and all the reading for me. Like, I'm the medical person, but he finds out more shit that I don't know. And I'm like,
I also work like 50 hours a week and have 2 small kids and a family and a house and pretend to live a normal life.
Is that
Gorilla made a good point. I do have Twitter too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Jena.
Here, let me just look at the bottom in the description. I'm pretty sure all of Neil's links have been put there beforehand.
Yeah,
so
Jena covered all this on the promotional links.
I did. I covered all
Patreon's
this.
there, I think. My Discord's there.
Patreon.
Yes.
I hardly ever go on Discord, just FYI.
I have all the links down below in the description. Please be a Patreon to Neil. Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to his TikTok, even though there's no content. Eventually, he'll get to it. Just subscribe to it. Thank you, Neil, for being here. Producer extraordinaire Mikey Famine, thank you for being here. Multi, of course, a savage. Always lovely to have you. Justin, love you, man.
Cheers, everyone.
All right. So we're signing off. See you in the Discord, everyone. Bye.